There we go. Okay, so we've started, and thank you very much, Ariann, for being here with me today in this series of videos that I am enjoying so much making, and mostly because I am so excited about giving people information about the different modalities, the different ways that we can go within, heal ourselves from the inside out, and make lasting changes to our lives, and good lasting changes to our lives. And today we have Ariann, who will be speaking to us about her medicine, and I want her to introduce it to us. So Ariann, welcome. Thank you so much for accepting to be here talking with me today.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be here, Carmen. I enjoy telling people about ancestral lineage clearing. It is an important healing technique, and my medicine is to help people connect with their ancestors, because our ancestors want to help us live healthy, happy, successful lives with abundance and good families and open hearts. And they're always available to us to give us their wisdom from lifetimes of experience. And so what I do is I help people connect with their ancestors throughout time and space, because time and space is just a linear concept that we develop through our mind to say, okay, one time goes after another and this goes after another. But in our hearts and in our souls, it's all one. It's all one. And when we get into that deep meditation space, time and space dissolves, and we can ask for what we need. And our ancestors are those spirits that are out there going, let me help you. Let me help you. And so that's my medicine.
That is absolutely beautiful, because it's like it connects everything, right? I mean, it's not just me here today. It's me with this whole lineage behind me that's supporting me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let me address one question that a lot of people bring up, and they say, but I don't know my ancestors. I know my parents and my grandparents, but I don't know who came before me. I don't know where they came from. I don't know how they got here. And so I guess I can't do this. It's like, that's not true, because our heritage is in our bodies. It's in our bones. It's in our DNA. And that's how we connect with our ancestors. We connect with our ancestors on a very real physical level that gives us the connection on a spiritual and on an emotional level to connect with those that have come before us.
And this connection, so you said going into a deep meditative state. Meditative state. Okay. I'm sorry about that.
I know. I understand.
But so if you're not too good at meditating, or you feel like, oh, you know, I could not do that. Is that real, or I don't know. How can people address that if they're feeling like I could not do that because I can't meditate?
I use what's called a shamanic journeying technique.
Okay.
It's very similar to hypnotherapy. And some people who are used to meditating and who can get into that deep meditative state can connect with their ancestors on their own by setting their intention when they go into their meditation. Other people who are not used to meditating call me. Or they call experts. They call people who are used to doing shamanic journeys, who are used to connecting on that deep spiritual level. I'm not saying that what I do is unique, because every indigenous culture throughout the world has been able to connect with the ancestors. It's only in our Western minds that we think, oh, you can't go back in time. You can't go through space and connect with people. That's nonsense. And it's like, people have been doing this for thousands of years.
Mm-hmm.
But the advantage of going to a professional is that I know how to get you into that space. I know how to get you to that right ancestor, and I can hold that space for you to journey to where you need to go to find the answers you seek and to come out on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I also do is, when you do a journey with me, I also take that new energy that the ancestor has given you and reset that new pattern in your body and give you instructions on how to maintain it. Because as we know from the new science of epigenetics, there are certain techniques that you can use that turn off your negative genes and turn on your positive genes, because we have triggers in our bodies for our genetic codes. And I have certain techniques that I give my clients that are designed to reset those genetic codes in a positive way.
And to keep them that way longer
And
or
to fix them.
permanently? To fix
And
them.
to fix them permanently.
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty of doing the shamanic journeying and to turn on those genetic codes is, not only does it change for you, it also changes for your children, your grandchildren. It also resonates out to your siblings and to all of the people in your family. And that is the beauty of doing this work.
I get goosebumps at that point, thinking of how just one little change that I would think it's in me can permeate in such a way around. Well, yeah, if time is not linear, then anything can happen and energy is everywhere. Yeah, I guess from that point of view, it's easy
Certainly.
to understand.
And Carmen, think of this. If you have someone negative around you that's constantly going, oh, the sky is falling, the sky is falling, things are terrible, everything in the world is awful, doesn't it make you feel badly?
Yeah.
Doesn't it drag you down?
Mm-hmm.
And you start seeing things through that filter. But when you're around somebody positive that says life is grand, look at all these beautiful things in the world, look at how happy I am, look at these wonderful people in my life, then you start looking around and going, you know, I have wonderful people in my life too.
Mm-hmm.
I think life is pretty good. That joy, that happiness, that optimism spreads to everyone you meet and everyone in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this does. When it changes you, it changes all of those around you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You truly influence everyone in your life by who you are and your outlook and beliefs.
Yes, well, yes, this is very, very true. We do. I have a question. There are a couple of things that I wanted to expand a little bit on. One of them is, you said that the issues or the questions that people have. So normally, who would come to you? Who would be wanting to do an ancestral lineage clearing?
Generally, people come to me with 4 basic problems, and these are categories. They're not individual problems, okay? One is health.
Mm-hmm.
One is finances and success. The other is relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And the other is emotional connections, self-worth, life purpose, connection with the divine.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the basic categories.
Mm-hmm.
Because when people have what they call generational health problems, Oh, everybody in my family has cancer.
Right.
Oh, all of my relatives die of heart disease. Oh, diabetes runs in our family. What we found through epigenetics is that you may have the gene markers for these diseases, but those gene markers are only predispositions, and you can turn off those triggers
Mm-hmm.
and turn on your strong immune system.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Finances. A lot of people in the world have this poverty consciousness
Mm-hmm.
because most of us have come from backgrounds of slavery and being servants, or living under feudal lords, or living in lands where there's been invasions and wars and we've been oppressed. And when we turn off those genes of fear and of oppression, then we can open our lives to trusting in the abundance of the universe,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and we open to the success that we deserve. Relationships. Relationships are the most important thing in our lives. But again, many of us have come from histories where there have been marriages arranged for political gain, for economic reasons, for religious reasons, without regard to who the people are.
Mm-hmm.
And we've also come from cultures where cheating, betrayal, mistresses on the side, you give your husband an heir, and then it's fine to go ahead and have lovers on the side, so that we have broken vows and broken promises. Mm-hmm. When we have created marriage ceremonies and vows, and those are lingering wounds in our backgrounds.
Right.
And those can be cleared so that we are free to open our hearts and trust. Mm-hmm. And love fully and completely.
So anything, I mean, any hurt that we might be holding can be cleared through the ancestral lineage. Yeah. Before we finish, the other thing that I wanted to ask you about was, you keep mentioning epigenetics.
Right.
Can you explain a little bit more about epigenetics? I hear a lot of that lately.
Right. Well, that's because it's a relatively new science. Mm-hmm. It's just been developed in the last 20, 25 years. And we've known about DNA and inherited genetic patterns for over 100 years, probably 150 by this time, because of Mendel's experiments with peas to begin with, okay? But prior to the last 20 years, science has always said that here's your genes, you're stuck with them. If this is in your DNA, that's the way it is. It's like you came into this world with this pattern and you couldn't change it. Yeah. Since science has discovered the human genome, they have discovered that, yes, we have these DNA patterns. We inherit one strand from our father and we inherit one strand from our mother. But what they've found is that your actual genetic codes are basically, can we say sleeper cells? These are my words, okay? They're sleeper cells. And by our beliefs, by our actions, by our behaviors, we turn those genetic codes on and we turn those genetic codes off, so that we do things like smoking, we get lung cancer because we have the predisposition in our genes for lung cancer, okay? We eat healthy, we exercise, we pay attention to the air we breathe, to living a strong, positive life. We turn on those genes for a strong immune system, for a healthy body. And here we are, and everything's okay. And so it's how we think, how we believe, and how we act that determines which genes are activated and which genes are not. And that's what epigenetics has told us. It's that there is an overlying system for which genes turn on and which genes turn off. And research has shown that there are active ways to prevent genes from being damaged and to repair damaged genes. And I'll just mention one specific. Meditation repairs damaged genes, and it prevents genetic damage from occurring.
Really? Well, meditation is kind of like a very generic medicine, isn't it?
It is. And there's various ways to meditate. And we won't go into all of them, but you don't have to sit down and close your eyes and,
Right.
You can walk under the trees and be still and silent and connect to nature. And that's a meditation too.
That's a meditation, yeah. Our yoga teacher always tells us meditation is just focusing on. So when your whole attention is focused in one specific, whatever it is, you're meditating. So we're meditating at this moment right now because we're focusing on each other and what we're talking about, right?
True.
Yes. Oh my goodness, very, very interesting information, Ariann. And I did my ancestral lineage clearing with you, and it was a beautiful, amazing experience. And that's why I also wanted to share with everybody, because it is a beautiful experience. Just the surprise of it, I would say. To me, it was the surprise that you're going in there thinking, what is this? And all of a sudden things just make sense and they come out of nowhere. So it's a very enlightening experience, and it definitely caused what you were talking about, this
ripple effect.
A ripple effect within. Yes. So thank you very much. Thank you, Ariann, for these minutes spent here with me. Thank you for all your beautiful, amazing medicine. And well, I hope that the people that are listening to this will become more interested, and maybe they feel the call to do this. I don't know.
It was my pleasure, Carmen. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you. Have a great day, okay? And we'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye. Let me